Hello, Dante. You alright?
You're one of Jack Crawford's men, aren't you?
Jack. No idea. I'm, Rudy. We do the Jambags gaming podcast together.
Oh. May I see your credentials?
Credentials? What are you on about?
Closer. Closer. Oh, that badge says Jambags Gaming Podcast. It's been over a month since the last episode. You aren't a real podcaster, are you, Rudy?
Well, I'm real as in, we've made podcasts, me and you together. Yeah.
Oh, very slippery of you, Rudy Manchego. Sit, if you please.
Okay, thanks, I will. Did you do those drawings that are all over your cells? The one of the futuristic city and the cybernetic enhancements that I can see plastered on the walls. Are those yours?
Yes, and you can see the cyber tracker getting out of a hover car.
And you drew those from memory?
Memory's all I have, Rudy, since the release date was changed.
Oh, the release date. Yeah, okay. Is that why you're stuck in this cell?
No. You were doing fine. You've been courteous and receptive to courtesy. You'd established trust. With the embarrassing truth about being a rubbish podcaster, and now this ham-handed segue into your questionnaire, it won't do.
Okay, well, either you're going to talk to me and tell me why you're suddenly in a mental health hospital in its Mexican security wing, or, you're just going to do misplaced film scene takeoffs with me. So,
You are here because you need a news story, yes? It is Cyberpunk you wanted to talk about, yes? Please tell me the newspapers cover so very little gaming news here.
Well, the game has been delayed. You had that psychotic break when you found out you had to wait till autumn now to play it?
I did I? And this is what do you think has been delayed, Agent Manchego? Thrill me with your acumen.
Well, I guess probably a bit buggy. Needs a bit more time to polish.
No, you are ambitious, aren't you? Wanting the big scoop into why such a AAA game was delayed. Do you know what you look like with your geek t-shirt and your sheep shoes? You look like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste. Chronic masturbation has given you a pale complexion, yes, but you're not more than one generation from poor white trash, are you? And that accent you've tried so desperately to shed. Pure East Anglia. Was it your father, dear? Is he an accountant? Does he stink of the Copydex glue? How quickly the girls abandoned you. All those tedious, sticky fumblings in the back seats of cars alone. We could only dream of getting out, getting anywhere, getting all the way to making an amateur gaming podcast.
You sheer lad, Dante, but are you strong enough to turn that high-powered perception yourself? What about it? Why don't you look at yourself and write down what you see? You're in here doing Hannibal Lecter skits for some god knows reason. Why? All because the game you pre-ordered has been delayed and now you aren't allowed in game Wolverhampton because you tried to steal their promotional boxes. Are you going to stop dicking around and come back for the new podcast episode?
A Twitch influencer paid by a CD Projekt Red once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Now fly back to school, little Manchego. Fly.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Dante. Seriously, are you going to come and we'll do the next episode, or we'll just have to ignore the whole Cyberpunk 2077 delayed thing, yeah? I mean, you're not even officially staying here. The guy says he can't get you to leave the cell. Do you even know what fava beans are?
No, not really.
So you come in then?
Yeah, all right. And hello, Jambaggers, fresh back from self-imposed exile in some kind of high-security medical wing. Dante Rodriguez with my colleague, Mr.
Rudy Manchego. Hi, Dante. Glad you're feeling better, I think.
I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. I mean, Rudy has been coughing and sputtering quite a lot over the past 2-week period of time, which we refer to as a PUBG.
A pub? Well, we're still trying to get that to be a thing.
Well, okay, it's bringing back some of the classics here, really. But is it caught on? Do people are using that yet?
Well, instead of this is the joke about whether we could change a fortnight being a period of time to a PUBG.
Yeah. No. Are the kids saying that?
I'm quite far away from the pulse of anything. No one will let me near them. But I don't know if we've quite broken through the cultural zeitgeist yet. In fact, I'm not entirely sure if PUBG is still a game that you can play, is it?
Is it still a game? I think it might have moved on to mobile or something, onto like the App Store rather than actually on consoles now. It's
I don't know. There's probably like about 15 seasons of it or something. I don't know how this whole thing works. I don't understand these games. They're too many for me.
Don't even talk to me about battle passes and seasons and Apex Hujima. What's it? I don't know.
Battle Pants and
Battle Pants.
Spunky weeks. I don't know what they're called.
No. Kind of. Live events? No. Anyway, before we kind of show people that we have our fingers nowhere near the pulse and jammed firmly up our asses, let's get on with the podcast.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm feeling better now, Dante. Thank you for that. I have had a bad chest infection. It's not coronavirus. Could be soul virus. I don't know. Had a few bottles of that the other week.
I think it might be the Grolsch virus or possibly the Tesco Value Lager virus.
Yeah, probably Tesco Value lagers are quite expensive, so it might just be the little white label, but something along those lines. Although, to be honest, I was thinking about us making jokes about the coronavirus right now. We're recording this towards the end of January, ready for the start of February. There's a possible next month that we'll be like doing this from our sick beds, and then a month after that, there just won't be us. We just won't be there. It'll just be like a flatline sound.
Yeah, no, just be an entirely kind of world-ending event for the cheap beer virus, whichever cheap beer we decide to call it at that point.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the world. But hey, gaming's still gaming, right? So let's just
don't let
focus
the
on that.
World-ending virus get in the way of good games, right?
I mean, I do have some exciting news. This podcast, if you're listening now, you could be listening to it on YouTube.
Oh.
So I've got us signed up to a service where we'll be putting our videos at the same time as we release on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the other RSS apps. We'll also be going up with a background video on YouTube at the same time. So just if those of you would like to watch via YouTube a background image of our logo. We won't have any actual real video footage because we don't film it together, but you can definitely have that up there and listen on YouTube. So onwards and upwards.
So I can listen back to how terrible you are while I'm trying to do or pretend to do work at work, yeah?
Completely. Or if you invite someone over for Netflix and chill, where you can have a YouTube and not chill.
YouTube and fumble.
YouTube and fiddle, if that's the thing. YouTube and rumble.
Yeah. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to fiddle. No, none of it works.
Yeah, no. But there's also some other good news, Dante, which I wanted to get onto, which is that we've had a bit of an influx of listeners over the last month. It's genuinely, it's not not that shame, but we have had a fair few listeners. Our listenership has been up this last month over our recent episode. So thank you everyone that's listened and has tuned in.
No, welcome to all the people that I know listen to the podcast and all new people as well. I know there are people as far as the USA, and I know at least one person in mainland Europe, in Hungary, that listens. So good to hear from all of them and anybody new that's joined us.
Absolutely. So thanks very much. Bear with us. We apologise for Dante, but he's trying, and that's what matters. Matters. He's got heart. Yeah.
No, we've got the spirit.
We got the spunk.
We got
probably too much of that. Actually, thinking about it,
we've had too much of the crank. No,
the crank.
Yeah. No, I've been like a Jason Statham movie marathon, so crank is high on my mind. Have you got any crank? I could really do with some crank.
I don't have any crank right now. No. When we have to have sex to keep the podcast going or something, or else you die. Maybe.
Yeah. No, I certainly need to kind of keep moving and doing energetic stuff. So any weird noises you hear, completely coincidental.
Yeah, completely coincidental. I'll try and edit those ones out if I have to.
Okay. Should we talk about gaming? Because we haven't really talked about gaming.
Well, I mean, I wanted to just, before we moved on, because we've got quite a packed show today. But before we moved on, I did want to just check that, opening skits aside, are you okay about Cyberpunk being delayed, Dante?
If you bring it up again, you will not be leaving here for the rest of your life.
What was that supposed to be? That wasn't Hannibal Lecter. That was more Alan Rickman.
What? No, that was total Lecter. And I don't know. It's all 80s baddie, whatever. It's all stuff. Now, stop bringing up Cyberpunk.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to... I'm here for you, man. I mean, not most of the time. I've got quite a lot on, but if you really, really need me, you know where to find me, which is doing other things.
Yeah, which is like a million friggin' miles away, not caring.
Yeah, but I'm there not caring for you. That's pretty special. We're a team. Man. We're a team, and I am here for you. This hurt you a lot. I know it hurt you a lot. So
yeah, no, it's. I'm trying to cope with it, and slipping back into Fava beans mode really seems to help. I think we should move on before there's a fatality.
Yeah, should we touch on some news? Let's hope there's new Cyberpunk news developments.
On to the news, Rudy.
Welcome, Jambaggers, to From the Jambags. It's our news section where we talk about the latest and greatest stories that are breaking the internet right now with some gaming goodness. Now, another full week it's been. We're kicking up again. You know, January was a dead month. We're entering into February. Stuff is going down, Dante, all over the shop. Release dates are moving. Yeah. Games are being released. Games aren't being released. New consoles around the corner. Sales figures are being released. It's kicking off, but we've got some choice bits of thing, and the first one is something that is kicking off or isn't kicking off.
There's a distinct lack of kickoff in this next story. It's a general lack of any new titles or any updates whatsoever to Stadia for, I think it's at least the last 4 weeks, according to my sources. Yeah. Even loyal followers that bought it in the beginning are starting to say it's rubbish. We have got a press release from someone who's known to the podcast, Dan Danielson, who just kind of seems to show up sometimes. We haven't heard from him in a little bit. He's been involved, Dan Danielson, in, I think he was the technology evangelist for Stadia. Yes.
And would appear on his podcast often without invite.
No, he would just kind of appear through our microphones, and he'd be like a disembodied voice or something like that. Good guy, though, you know.
But yeah, I mean, he talked to us. Very few people do, and that's great. But this time we've actually got an official press slipping from him.
Yeah, no, we have. So if we cue up the audio, let's hit play on
Okay, let's give it a go.
Loyal Stadia users, thank you for your support in these difficult times. Stadia, as you all know, is the future of gaming. It is what all gaming will aim to be. Not long from no, I'm sorry. I can't keep doing this. Oh, I can't say it with a straight face. Oh, we've f***ed up the release so badly. Oh my god, what are we going to do? We've dropped the ball so hard. Those are such hard balls and we've dropped them. Sunda Pichai. Oh my god, he's going to remove my super Google powers. He's going to take them away from me. Oh, he's found me. He's found me already. Oh, don't let him take me. Oh, stop. Please save me. Save me. Don't let him take me. Don't let him take me.
Wow.
Yeah. Is that those
that is
scary things from that Ghost movie with the old Swayze?
Yeah,
characters?
I mean, because we got it as a video format, and it was just literally his soul being sucked away by faceless demon.
Oh,
things.
that's what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I guess, how hath no fury like a fudge Google launch.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you can't help but feel sorry for those guys, can you? I mean, they were trying to do something new, and it's not really picked up for them, and they've been dropped pretty hard.
I mean, I've heard a few other commentators say that they think that the future of gaming is probably going to be cloud-based, streaming-based games, but they're not entirely convinced that the Google Stadia is going to be the one that survives the test of time, perhaps.
No, and that's sad, and I can't help but think whether that's going to be the last that we ever hear of Dan Danielson. That was quite a terrifying piece of footage and sound clip there. You can't help but feel for the guy.
Yeah, no. If any kind of more hackneyed writers than us will probably come up with a whole story about trying to rescue Dan Danielson from hell, but I don't like him that much. So.
No, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of games to play, haven't we?
And he did kind of scare me a little bit at times. Just
I never really understood. Also, he's always had that background music every time he talks.
Really sounded like those guys on PlayStation Access when they do those Brian Cox accent rip-offs as well. That's
Yeah, they totally copied that as well from not us, but someone, I'm sure.
Yeah, from somebody else.
Okay, well, I mean, so another month, another Stadia story from us. It's going downhill, and we seem to have lost our spokesman for it.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll appoint someone new with kind of crazy mystical background music and powers. But anyway, let's move on to one of our other favourites. I believe you have a story from Boobysoft.
Boobysoft has indeed made the headlines. Now, it's no secret that Boobysoft produce pretty good games, but I think it's fair to say they are a bit similar.
Yeah.
Boobysoft games are Boobysoft games, aren't they?
They all seem to be morphing into one experience with RPG elements, open world. There's a lot of similarities between Ghost Recon Wildlands and Assassin's Creed Origins. You have a drone in one, you have an eagle in the other, but it's kind of the same thing, just with guns instead of swords.
Yeah, and apparently in the new Watch Dogs, you're going to have a badger on a trike. It's that kind of thing which will, isn't really setting the world apart. But I think this has kind of started to impact them. So there's been a major reshuffle announced at the French Basingstoke-based company, Boobysoft. And it turns out that all their games have in fact shared that one creative director. One creative director head for all their games, and that director themselves was in fact just an improvised twister spinner where the arrow either stated large open world with lots of microtransactions or large open world with like totes loads of microtransactions, and they were just spinning that one to see which the next release would be.
No, you can see why it got a little bit samey on that one. I mean, did the spinner even have like historical or future or something like that on either side of it?
That was not part of the equation. It was literally it's large open world with some microtransactions or large open world with totes loads of microtransactions.
With a buttload, right? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a statement here from Cedric Latour, friend of the podcast. He's been on it a few times.
Oh, yeah.
But just a little press release they've put out about how they're going to add a bit more diversity into their game planning. So I'm just going to rack up the audio for you now.
Hello, Game Buying Public of the United Kingdom and the rest of the world, but particularly United Kingdom, you bunch of cretins. We have vowed that we are going to diversify completely the Boobysoft games so that there is new and varied experiences. We have decided to upgrade the spinner to include a small open world with just a couple of microtransactions. You have got your wish, now go and enjoy the Boobysoft games.
Gosh, I mean, do you feel... I mean, they're obviously making a critical change to their creative directorship, but do you feel that this is enough of a change? Having 3 options on the spinner, is that going to be enough to break the curse?
I'm maybe a little bit sceptical on that goes quite far enough. I think it seems like they kind of plant whatever's next in whatever franchise they're making and then do that spinny thing, and it's probably there just to satisfy their investors who love making all the money in the world, and microtransactions is more of that. So yeah, I think that's maybe not quite far enough from Boobysoft. What do you think? I
feel that Cedric Latour there it doesn't feel like he's learned much lessons from some of the complaints of their recent games of being cookie cutters of each other. And I think adding just one more option to a spinner is not necessarily the creative juice that we're looking for from a major AAA studio. We're looking for some new ideas. We're looking for some fresh stuff, not just smaller open worlds with minimal microtransactions. I'm looking for something a little bit more of a shake up than that. However, I'm not going to write these guys off. Boobysoft are legends in the field. They are just 2 huge, whopping,
completely
great,
huge, absolutely massive,
suffocating.
Boobysoft. Yeah,
and I'm not going to count those guys out.
No, and whenever I see something from Boobysoft, I just can't stop staring at them because it's just so amazing to look at, and
you get a real sense of value.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to say
you really do. And since Anthem did so terribly poorly, there might be some good sci-fi writers out there. So maybe Boobysoft could scoop some of those guys up and make something that's a little bit better.
Scoop some boobies up. That's fine. No, I'm happy with that. But let's move on now from our good friends at Boobysoft. This is something that we're covering a story here that we wouldn't normally cover. I don't think we're not fans of the genre that massively, or I suppose the genre is the wrong word. It's a genre, I guess, but the particular world. But Dante, lay it on me. What have we got here?
Okay, so we've been getting some reports about the new services from the Pokemon games. Now, there's this thing called Pokemon Home, which allows people that play the Pokemon games. I'm guessing this is sort of younger people, though I know there are people maybe a few years younger than School Me that do that, so they're probably still in their 30s by now anyway. It kind of passed me by. But in order to transfer your Pokemon between various iterations of the Pokemon games, they're introducing this cloud-based service called Pokemon Home. It sounds a bit like some of the things you had with the Switch or the save games that you had to get on the cloud by paying an online subscription for it. Well, Pokemon Home's doing the same thing. They've got a $16 a year. I don't know how much it'll be in the UK, but a $16 a year price fee for a Pokemon Home where you can store your Pokemon. And I think there's a premium version as well. I don't know if that's the premium price or if there's like a less premium version that's a little bit cheaper. Mm-hmm. But so according to our behind-the-scenes sources, we have found out that again, whoever makes the Pokemon, I don't know if it's Bandai or somebody like that, but they are planning on turning on new functionality that's going to make it even more expensive. They are going to essentially turn all the Pokemon that you'd store there into basically Tamagotchi, and unless you pay for the Pokemon kitchen to feed them and the Pokemon shit box for them to take a dump in, then you're gonna lose all your Pokemon.
I mean, these guys know that there's money out there to be made. I mean, Pokemon Pointy Sword and Flat Shield or whatever it's called made a butt ton of money over the Christmas period. Had some controversy from diehard fans, but still sold, absolute dick busters. And now, there's a subscription fee, and that subscription fee has got more things in there if you want to actually keep your Pokemon alive, and they'll die horribly and shit everywhere, places you don't want them to shit if you don't pay for a shit for them.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have that. No, they get by dysentery or kind of just diseases from their own filth, apparently.
Yeah, and then and also I think it gives off your switch will start to give off a weird smell, and just all waft about through the house. And you can get some mobile app as well, so your phone will start to have to look like it's covered in Pokemon shit, which is colourful shit, I believe, but shit nonetheless.
Yeah, and I can start to see why you or I never really got into the Pokemon games if they do stuff like that. But I mean, it's been argued that the Pokemon sales models maybe not been that great over the course of time anyway, generally having two versions of the same game on sale, just with some exclusive content in each one, like a red and a blue version or something like that. So
yeah,
it's kind of like a natural evolution, apparently.
Yeah, and I feel that it's this kind of thing that, to me as an outsider, it feels like people have been really badly ripped off. But it's also stopping us from getting into the games, because the last thing I want is my mobile phone being filled up with Pokemon, spunk and shit. Or whatever it's called.
No, don't absolutely do not need to be carrying around a device all day that smells like Pokemon feces. I've got enough of that without the Pokemon stuff being added, to be honest.
Very true. And also, I actually think that possibly that Pokemon Spunk and shit will be the name of the next dual titles I bring out.
I'm pretty sure that's been confirmed in a press release already.
Has it? Okay, maybe that's where I'm getting it from. Yeah, but it's Pokemon Spunk and shit. Two different cases, two different collectible Pokemon, but one will be heavily jizzed and one will be poo related. But I mean, it feels weird. But okay, I mean, so we're dabbling there in Pokemon news. We don't normally do it, but there's a big market out there clearly, and if people want their Pokemon shit taken away, they've got to pay for it.
Oh yeah, no, I think the next level is for you have to pay for Pokemon bin men to come and take away the bags of shit that your Pokemon leaves in the shit box.
Wow, I mean, it just keeps making money for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, there's some kind of creative genius behind all this sort of thing for thinking to monetize all of this stuff. But that's why they pay them the big bucks, and we just sit here and make podcasts.
I guess so. I guess that's why we're not game designers. We can't think of genius ideas like Pokemon Spunk and but moving on, Dante, this has become the month of delays now. We've had pushing things out for a lot of games.
Delays. Don't talk to me of delays. Why would you talk to me of delays? You're going to bring up Cyberpunk again, aren't you?
No. It's not Cyberpunk. I'm talking about. What am I talking about? I'm talking about.
You could be talking about Watch Dogs Legion. Were you talking about Watch Dogs Legion?
No, yes, Watch Dogs Legion. That's been.
That's all right then.
That's been delayed. Yeah, I certainly. And what was that other game? That futuristic game. It was.
No, you were talking about Cyberpunk again.
No, not Cyberpunk. Not Cyberpunk. I was talking about. The Avengers. That's been delayed.
No.
The Avengers has been delayed. Absolutely wasn't talking about Cyberpunk.
You better not have been.
Which was also delayed quite significantly.
Shut it, Rudy, or I will feed you your liver.
Dante, I've been thinking about this whole accessibility thing in games. It's becoming pretty big.
That video, that thing on YouTube.
Yeah. People are making accessibility devices so that loved ones and so on can use controllers, particularly if they've got disabilities or have got conditions where they can't perhaps game in the same way as the rest of us, and that's fine. I think it's great work.
I think it's really noble. That dad was really inspiring when I saw that he modified those controllers so that his disabled daughter could play Breath of the Wild. He took was it an Xbox type controller, one of their accessible controllers, and modified it to work on the Switch?
Yeah, absolutely. And his daughter was able to, run through. You saw sort of controlling Link through Hyrule, and it was really lovely and emotional. And I think that we always report on stuff that's really negative in the gaming industry, but that's a feel good story, and not in a kind of one. I think it's important. We're opening up gaming to more people, and I think that we haven't done much to cover that in our podcasts.
Yeah, I think we could do more to promote positive gaming stories, not just about scamming and microtransactions and stuff like that.
Completely. I couldn't agree more, Dante. So I've got a special guest for you to join you in your studio. I'll take a back seat and log off for a bit. But this special guest here has actually been working on a whole set of accessibility controllers, and they're going to give you a run-through of it. And I thought we could put that on the podcast, and we'll just record it and how you get on using these accessibility controllers. Yeah, they work with the Xbox. They're Xbox controllers, so I figure you're the Xbox guy. Interesting guy. I did minimal vetting, but I'm sure it's fine. So just enjoy, whatever it is he's selling, and get some good recordings. Yeah.
It feels like you're leading me into what's
excellent,
on?
Mate. Wait a sec. Yeah, that sounds like him now. Yeah, you get the door. I'll log off. Give us a jingle jangle when you're finished. Yeah, hope you have a good time.
Rudy,
right.
Where you
See
go?
you, mate.
Rudy,
Bye.
Rudy. Oh, okay, so this guy's at my door. Hello.
Hello. I am Guillermo Santiago. Rudy has asked me to show you some of the hard plastic items for you to wrap around your body.
Well, he said something about some adaptive video game controllers for people with special abilities and needs, so that they could join in video games with.
Of course. These lumps of plastic in my bag here. You can see my bag. It's a big bag. Mm-hmm. These are gateways for these people's two worlds of pure fantasy. Yeah.
You mean the pure fantasy of playing video games, right?
Of course, I am Guillermo. Of course. May I come in and set up my special little friends in your studio here?
Is this one of those vampire things? If I'd invite you, nah, that's not real. Come on in.
Yes, let me just bring my sack of goodness into your office. Okay, I shall put my sack around here. Yes. Is my sack good here?
Sack. That's a very furry sack for.
It's my sack. It is made from furry moles. It is my sack. I am just going to get my devices out of the bag, and I will set them up here now. This is your box of X, yes?
Yeah, that's the games console, the Xbox.
Yeah, the box of X, yes, exactly as I said. My voice is funny to you, yes. So I will put this. Hold on, I will just plug this into the central box at the back here, and just wire this in to the back of the box of X, and then I will sucker this to the wall here, and just tighten that against the.
It doesn't sound like a healthy noise for an Xbox to be making.
And I will lay this on the floor and apply some of the special jelly just to the end of it here, just on the tip. And yes, and I shall put this. I'll put some jelly on that as well. And we have some.
Okay, so I can see some.
I am set up. I am Guillermo.
Yes, you said that. So I can see some odd contraptions. What's this one stuck to the wall?
Oh, do not touch the generator. coffin. The gyrator is special. It is sensitive to the touch. Yeah, now come, Dante. Let me ease you into my devices, yeah? Come closer. I do not bite. Come closer.
Okay, that's maybe a little
come
too
closer.
close.
Come closer.
Okay, I'm feeling another Hannibal coming along, but okay.
So this device here, yes? This device here is to give those who need tighter grip access. Let me strap it to your arm really tight, yes? Can you feel that? Can you feel that on the arm?
Okay, so how does this help those with different abilities from me do gaming? Where are the buttons?
Shh.
Why are you talking like that? That's weird. Okay.
This is just part of the solution, yeah? Next, you must rub yourself down to me. That's it. Yes, rub yourself down. That is until you get to this controller on the floor. Can your bits feel it? Can you feel the controller on the floor, yes?
I can feel something. I'm not sure I like what that something is.
Shh. Don't talk now. This is important for the whatever you call them, the gamers. Your friend Rudy said as much, yes? Now rub your crotch on the floor like this so it activates my sensor pad. Ooh, good, yes. Now I shall attach this harness to your other leg and wrap this wire down your inside leg. Ooh, very firm. Okay. Very good, Dante. Okay. Very good.
Okay, I think I might need a timeout or a safe word or a safe space or one of those snowflakey things. I do not see how this is going to work for people. I'm not making these movements.
Of course, this is for accessibility for gamers. Yeah, I built this myself with my 3 legs, you see. Yeah. This is full body sensation for when you game and play the games of the fantasy world, yeah. You see? Now, I'm just going to put this in your mouth. Just squeeze that in there and then, yeah, that is it. Yeah. There we go. And now I shall add this drum to your back and strap that on there. Yep. And these sensor bells. Let me plug these lights onto it. That's it here. And then, I think you are now ready to play the Darkholds. How do you feel? Excellent. Yes, excellent. You look so liberated. You look so free. You look so alive with your games. Okay. And now I should put on the Darkholds for you to play. Ready? Okay, try to the very best of your ability now with this adaptive controller. Okay, let us go. Oh yes, you're good. You are moving. Okay, move forward and watch out for the skeleton. Okay, that was not so good. You are not in tune with your body. You must relax your body. You must press down with your body and to the left. That's it. Let me now. That's it. Tighten that bit against your anus. That's it. Yes. Okay. Now attack the demon. The demon is important. In front of you. I will clutch you tighter. That's it. I will clutch you tighter now. Now attack the demon. Ignore me. Ignore my fingers. My hands are here to help, not to hinder. Yeah. Now, okay. Try to dodge better. That's it. Okay. I shall pinch you when you need to dodge. That's it. Yes. That is better now. Oh no! Watch out for that shitting demon. Oh no! You have died. You have died.
Get this off me. This isn't working. How the hell does this help gamers who can't access games?
That is not so important to me. Did you not feel good against your skin? Yeah, did you not? How about this plug that vibrates right here?
No, that's just a massive distraction. How have you sold any of this to anyone?
You mean to customers? No, you are my beautiful man.
Okay, get this off me right now.
No. We can have more of the Darkholds to play together, yes? I can wear a suit too. We can rub our accessible parts together in the name of accessibility. Come closer. Let me add my special gaming jelly.
Get the away from me.
State to the gaming nation.
And welcome, Jambaggers, to this month's State of the Gaming Nation. Okay, so the topic we're coming up with for the Gaming Nation this month is the term Metroidvania, because occasionally we will do some research for a topic on the state of gaming, and occasionally we will get any further than this week's Gymquisition, but not on this case. So we've, the topic's been raised about the term Metroidvania, and whether it is a useful label for a game type, and whether it should be changed to something that is more easily accessible for someone who's never played a Metroid or a Castlevania game. What do you think on this, Rudy?
Oh, this is a subject that touches close to my heart. Now, you're not a big Metroidvania fan?
In the traditional, I don't know about fan. It's just not. Had
Well,
much exposure
I mean,
to it.
yeah, exactly. You're not. I wouldn't say you've been into some of the games that originated the concept.
Yeah, I think traditionally those games are the 2D platformers, and any of the games that I've played that adopt a Metroidvania at least structure have been third-person, semi-open world adventure games. Like the first one that came to mind when I saw the topic was Arkham Asylum. That, you get a different tool for Batman. You can go to different areas. More recently, though, Jedi Fallen Order is a great example of a Metroidvania structure with the maps, and my game of the year, Control.
Yeah, and going back to it, it's an interesting one. So you've got that perspective from someone who is a gamer but is coming to the genre through more modern entries. I'm a big fan of the Metroid series. Super Metroid is my favourite game of all time. I have played it countless times. I've played Castlevania games. I've played the Metroid 3D games like Prime. I've played the 2D platformers on Game Boy Advance like Fusion and Zero Mission and Samus Returns. I've got it on the Samus Returns, on the 3DS. Great games. I love them. I've played some of the more modern 2D platformers such as Hollow Knight, SteamWorld Dig. All great genre games. Really, a genre that have a lot of hold in my heart. It's something that I really enjoy. Going through levels, unlocking them, exploring. Coming back, retreading steps. All those kind of.
And because it tends to be single player experiences.
Absolutely, they do. Yeah, and they are very much quintessential single player experiences, and I think they're the kind of game that rewards single players because of the nature of them, the exploration, stuff like that. So I think this is an important topic to be having, and I think it's great that we've stolen it from someone else on YouTube. So
I mean, my thoughts on it were that it didn't sort of take a lot of Googling or whatever you'd call it these days for me to figure out what Metroidvania was. I think I just kind of read maybe the Wikipedia page on the Arkham Asylum game and so, Metroidvania, that's what that means, and it was a fairly easy term to pick up, even though I hadn't played the original games that inspired it.
Yeah, but I suppose the counter argument is that there's a lot of online articles going out there saying that what they don't like about the term, that they don't, that it's a gatekeeping issue. For people who don't know what it is, it's a blending of two relatively niche titles that not a lot of people have probably played in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't describe very well what it is, but they don't really, I suppose. I mean, they never really offer an alternative, which is you've got this really very particular genre, which it's a genre of games that goes across gameplay styles. It could be, you could have an FPS that's a Metroidvania. You could have you could have a third party action game like Jedi Fallen Order. You could have the traditional 2D platformers. I've even seen a pinball Metroidvania style game.
I'd imagine you could even have an open world driving game where you have to get a certain car to access certain areas and that sort of thing. It's you can apply it to gaming structure in more ways than the traditional sense.
Yeah, it's a really interesting, really interesting gaming concept. But people, like to moan about stuff, I guess, without throwing up any real alternatives. So what else is there?
Yeah. What else? Well, maybe we should offer up as an alternative. I mean, things like first-person shooter and real-time strategy, they get renamed. Okay, they get abbreviated, but when you analyse what each word means, it's pretty obvious. I think. What do you think? Can we come up with something better?
I don't know, man. I mean, what can we offer up as an alternative? I mean, it's there's a lot of it's not an easy thing to term, is it? Because as I said, there's no graphical hallmark like a first-person shooter where you have to be in first person, and a real-time strategy has got obviously the strategy element in there.
I have kind of an ulterior motive for bringing this subject up because I think I have come up with the perfect term to fill the void of what was left.
The perfect term. You've solved the Metroidvania conundrum.
Yep. Yeah, easy. Just kind of thinking about it for 5 minutes on my lunch break and it just bashed it out. Yeah.
Just took you 5 minutes. I mean, I'll be honest here. I'm a little bit dubious about this, that you've managed to hit the nail on the head, but I'll go the benefit down. I mean, is it something that's easy? I mean, I had a few thoughts when we were prepping this episode myself. I thought maybe expendable map adventure game.
Okay. Well, that's a bit long. On the long side.
But I mean, I guess it's you got the map that expands, and it's an adventure game potentially. You could see it that way. So there's two combinations. Abbreviate that. Expendable map adventure game.
EMAG. Yeah. Anyway, no, that's not as good as what I came up with.
No. What about how Mazy platformer?
Well, that kind of describes a lot of other games that aren't Metroidvanias, and misses out all those more modern ones that we also talked about.
But, I suppose you're right. I guess you're right about the platform. And then the mazy element, it's not as much as a maze because you get a map. It's about retrace. But, okay. Okay, right. Well, mazy platformer is as good as I got. How have you managed to solve the conundrum?
Simple. A Jambag.
What?
This is our chance, Rudy, to get the Jambags name established as part of the gaming zeitgeist. I mean, Jambags is even related to gamings. Unless you've seen the extended Hobbit movies, you've got no freaking idea what we're talking about. But if that name was used to categorize such a big area of games...
Wait. This goes against everything you've just discussed, yeah? How are you stopping gatekeeping of the game? How is Jambag make an easy translation for a complicated genre piece? I mean... We've just said that it's not easy to do. We've just said that, first-person shooter works because it describes what it has to be like. Jambag's got nothing, it's got nothing to do with that, is it?
That's not the point, Rudy. That's not the point. They're looking to throw the term out, and there's a vacancy. There's a void we can fill. If we can get our word in there, when people look for the next big Metroidvania Jambag, trademark game, then they'll happen across our podcast, and we'll get hits that we weren't supposed to be getting. We should be getting, because go on, yeah.
So your new marketing strategy is we're going to try and force people to drop the term Metroidvania for our own selfish game and replace it with Jambag game TM.
Genius.
In the hope that it might lead to more listens. Wow,
it's as good a scheme as any of the others that we come up in our podcast skits.
I guess. I am finding it hard to feel convinced that we've got the power to replace such a well-known genre term. How long do you think it will take to get this done?
We could do it in a PUBG.
It's a fortnight, you dumbass.
Okay, Jambaggers, we are getting towards the end of another month's podcast. We've made it through. And if you've made it to the end, thank you very much. And I applaud your persistence in getting through what's been quite a random podcast this time around.
It's been one of our more random efforts, I think, possibly. I'm still very sorry about Guillermo. That was not what I was expecting, Dante, when I invited him around your house. I gave him spare keys to the front door to let himself in future.
Okay, that's why all these weird Spanish people have been showing up. It's not just him; it's all of his freaky, kinky. I'm going to have to, stop serving them wine and cheese and tell them to get out.
Well, I think you're a great host for a start. So let's not.
You're in here. Which one are you?
I'm just the guy in the corner. You know that I can't not have a nice splash of red wine and some cheese. You know I love that shit. So if there's a red wine and cheese party, I'm in the corner and snuffling away in the cheese. That's me.
I thought you were the guy in the bear suit.
No. I'm not allowed to wear bear suits. The judge said so. Okay. But yes, I'm sorry about Guillermo. That wasn't the original plan. To get someone in to put things inside you like that, and in the name of gaming. I thought he really had some groundbreaking controllers for people. It turns out he just had a lot of kinks going on.
And I'm sorry for being all Hannibal Lecter and trying to feed you parts of your own body.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Don't worry about it. I was quite peckish. Seriously, I can understand you're upset about that game. We're not going to go into it and mention it, about that game being delayed. We've all got things we look, I'd be upset if The Last of Us gets delayed again. The Last of Us 2 gets delayed. So, hey, we're all friends, man. Let's
after this podcast, I really hope it does.
Oh, that's just pretty mean, actually. I wouldn't. Anyway, we have some questions. We have some questions and then what appeared to be an insult to my script writing ability. But let's just start with a question. I know I don't say this lightly, Dante, when this is possibly the greatest question and the most important question that's ever been placed on our social media feed for the podcast so far.
All right. I don't think I saw your Twitter feed for this one, so this sounds pretty serious. What have you got for us?
This is from a long-time follower, Smexterman.
Hey.
Okay, asked a long-time listener. It's listened, sent a few questions in. And this one, guys, this is...
big shout out.
I know, I just want to... Okay.
Okay, this
Smexterman,
could rock us to our very core by the sound of it.
Smexterman wants to know how we have our jam and cream on scones or scones, depending on where you're from. Do you have jam and cream or the other way around? And God damn it, if this isn't an important topic that sits very close to my heart entirely. Now, for those from perhaps the USA or from Europe, scones are a sweet...
it's almost a cake, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a cake. It's like a breaded cake. It's a little bit dry. It often has, some fruit in it, such as raisins, currants, and that in it.
Or cheese if you're a complete monster.
Yes, you could have cheese in it. But there is a great tradition and a rivalry between two of the counties in the UK. So Cornwall and Devon are neighbours on the southwest coast, and they have it very differently. So it's traditional to have what they call a cream tea, and that cream tea is a pot of tea, which is drinkable tea, with a scone or scone, and on that you would have clotted cream with jam, or you'd have jam with clotted cream, and they do it differently, and it's a deep rivalry. So if you're Cornish, so if you're like Cornwall, it's the order of difference. So in Cornwall, you have the jam as a first ingredient, and then you have the cream. And in Devon, it's the way around. So you would have the cream with jam on it. And I am firmly allied on the Cornish side of this argument. I would have jam, then cream on top.
Jam, then cream. Ooh.
Yeah. And
wow. Seriously? That's what you're about now? I didn't realise you were one of those.
It's what I've always been about. I mean, it's core to my identity, Dante. The fact that this hasn't come up so far is actually quite a miracle. I feel that Smexterman's put his finger straight on the pulse there of what makes us work.
I'm feeling maybe about to cause the complete downfall of the Jambags crew, because... Okay, well, I'm just going to be completely awkward and... Okay, if I had to pick between those two, I'd have cream and then jam, so against you already. But to be honest, throw all that crap in the bin and just put butter on my scone, please. And that's all I want.
What the flipping
butter
nuts are you on about?
The perfect thing to put on a scone is lashings of real butter. None of that cream shite, none of that jam.
That's bullshit. I can't believe that is bullshit. Seriously.
You're just going to have to deal with it, because that is how I roll.
I need a break. Wait a sec. It's going to take a quick break away from me, because, I mean, I wouldn't have liked if you'd have gone the Devon way. Yeah, I wouldn't have liked. I'd have disagreed with that, but I've at least understood you're coming from a position of sense.
I suppose at least it's an ethos, right?
Yeah, exactly, completely. I don't agree with it, but at least it's something we can debate. But just putting butter on a scone or scone, oh my God, are you barbarian?
I am a thoroughly scone enjoying civilized human being. None of this petty rivalry between people that seem to think jam and cream belong on scones.
No, seriously, you've got this completely wrong. I mean, I'm just glad now that Smexterman didn't send through his first option, which was going to be which biscuit is the best dunker, because I don't think
chocolate chip cookie.
What are you on about? It's a jammy dodger.
Jammy Dodger?
Dip a bit of Jammy Dodger and you get the cream.
You are obsessed with jam. Why have you got to have jam on everything?
It's on brand. It's on brand.
Chocolate chip cookies more absorbent. You get more tea in it, and the chocolate chips melt a little bit. It's delicious.
That's complete madness as well. Oh, you know what? I think we might need to move on, because Smexterman here has just single-handedly just blown my mind, and just.
But if you put the jam in the burning hot cup of tea, the jam will become hot and it'll burn your tongue. No. This is like a terrible
28-year friendship that's on the line here, Dante. Do you know what I
mean? So I have to shut up now, like always.
I think no. You know what? Fair enough. It was my idea to. I read this out.
Okay.
Why don't you've got a comment? So why don't we hear from your comment?
This is going to make things all better, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we had a comment from another long-time contributor, the Pie Man. So a big shout out to my good friend Pie there, who has stated during our tweet to say about script writing that how come you need a dictionary to spell the word fava, as in fava beans, but you can spell Chianti just fine. What kind of middle class idiot exactly are you?
Well, gosh, I think I can answer that as clearly. I'm quite a middle class idiot. If I had that's that problem, I can't think that I've ever had to.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you over the sound of me slurping my Chianti.
Chianti. Look, right. I don't even know what fava beans look like. Yeah, I know it purely from Silence of the Lambs, which is why I had to try and Google to spell it, and why I tweeted about it. But Chianti, I know that because I've been to a cheap Italian restaurant many times and had a cheap Chianti. So obvious.
So fava beans are, just not something that you ever encountered, but you can afford.
I don't know if fava beans are real.
Okay, that's kind of a good point, I suppose. I'm going on Hannibal Lecter's word.
Exactly, I've got no idea. That could be a made up la food that everyone's been riffing on for years. Did impressions of. I haven't got a clue.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I should go back and tell off Mr. Hopkins about that for spreading misinformation about beans that he's just made up.
If you did. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you did, because it's just confusing. So I'm a little bit offended by that. I can't spell fava beans, but I can spell Chianti. Well,
Chianti's a much harder word to spell. So showing off your spelling skills.
Yeah, I'm pretty awesome. I mean, I've never had anyone say, "Oh, could you do a quick Google search at Sainsbury's for fava beans so that I can get some in the next internet shop?" It's never happened to me.
Yeah, can you spell haricot, like for haricot beans?
That sounds like rip-off Haribo to me. I've got no idea what that is.
Ooh, Haribo beans, now we're onto something.
Oh, that'd be quite good, actually. I would like Haribo beans.
Okay, so can you spell Shiraz or
Yes.
Pinot Grigio?
Yes.
But you can't spell haricot beans because you think they're Haribo beans.
I feel they're fictional.
Right.
They exist in the same la-di-da land as unicorns and fairy dust and vegans. They don't exist.
Yeah, no, the great mythic vegans.
Yeah, as if anyone could really live that lifestyle, and I don't think so. They probably
apologies to any of my vegan friends.
Let me guess, the vegans are just sat around eating haricot and fava beans and just trumping with each other and enjoying the smells or whatever. This mythical world of Narnia.
I saw it on that documentary about vegans, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. There was a vegan on that.
That was a fictional film.
No, that was all stuff that happened.
Oh, I think that was fictional. We know that vegans don't exist. They're a myth. It's like something goes missing in your back garden. All the vegans come out and got it. It's like, don't tell my kids, don't go to sleep, or else the vegans will feel really weak and disorientated around you because they've not been eating properly.
So, is the Tooth Fairy a vegan?
Probably. For all I know, could be. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Even though no. Obviously, vegans don't exist, and the Tooth Fairy does. So.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, who's giving me that quid every time my teeth used to come out?
Well, yeah. I keep punching your teeth out and putting your tooth under my pillow and getting more quids for myself.
I know. Yeah.
Anyway, should we tell people where they can find us on various internet sites and things?
Well, I think that's not a bad idea. Shall we start with the podcast itself, Dante? So we can be found, Jambags Podcast, can be found on Apple Podcasts, can be found on Spotify, and can be found on all good RSS feeds, as well as simplecast.com, or you can follow the links we always post on social media, or on our website, www.jambags.co.uk, which has an embedded form of it there. So please do give us a listen. And from this month as well, you can find us on our Jambags YouTube. That's right. We are going to have this video on YouTube. So you'll be able to put that on there and comment directly on it and tell us how we should be spelling fava beans or whatever. But anyway.
Yeah. No, to give us like a whole list of beans that are real and beans that are magic and beans that make giants' houses appear at the top of clouds and stuff. Just kind of do us a little kind of comment section on what kind of beans we can eat and which ones will cause giants to come and
we know baked beans are real because I've seen them.
Really?
I've seen tins of them, so I assume they are.
Yeah, but they're not real beans, are they? I mean, they're just those things that come in cans.
Oh, what am I? A botanist? What am I? A botanist? Just a bit of Gears of War quotes for you there.
Okay, so that's where you can find all the podcast locations. You can interact with us on social media, on Twitter at Jambags_UK is the main Jambags account run by Rudy Manchego, and at DanSolo96 for Dante's Twitter account there as well. You can interact with us through Instagram. Our Instagram account is at jambags_UK, where you can see a large selection of basically gaming crushes that Dante has. Mostly Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the second sister from Jedi Fallen Order. But there's bound to be more at some point. Now they've added a photo mode to Control.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. What else? They've got the Facebook page. There's Jambags' Facebook page. You can read our multiple blog entries, including our Games of the Year, on our website, jambags.co.uk. Have I missed anything, Rudy?
I think you got it all. Do interact with us. Yeah, you can comment on our YouTube videos. You can comment on that. And I really can't say enough. If you've ever listened to it and do enjoy it, please do give us a quick review on Apple Podcasts or follow us on Spotify and like us and interact any way you can. Makes such a huge difference to the almighty algorithms. Makes us feel really, really good on ourselves. Every new listen, me and Dante save a cat from drowning, and you can't really say fairer than that.
No, we stopped that bad stuff from happening to all those kitten cats.
Absolutely.
And to be honest, if we get even 5 likes on something, we feel like we've gone viral and we feel great for the rest of the day. So it doesn't take much to make us.
We have very low ambitions. Completely. So that's it from us at the Jambags crew. I think it's time to sign off for another month.
Thank you very much. Have a great month, Jambaggers. See you in another month's time. This has been me, Dante Rodriguez.
And myself, Rudy Manchego. Have a good one.
Well, Rudy, have the lambs stopped screaming?
Oh, Dante, not this again. Seriously, why are you phoning me? We just finished up this month's episode. We're done.
Don't bother with the trace. I won't be on long enough.
Yeah, no, I really don't give a crap. What are you prattling on about now?
I have no plans to call on you, Rudy. The world's more interesting with you in it. So you take care now, and extend to me the same courtesy.
If you could just stop being weird, all because of video games being delayed, that would be great. I mean, you've still got your pre-order open for Cyberpunk, right?
I do wish we could chat longer. I have a flight to Poland to meet some old developer friends for dinner. Goodbye.
Dante? Oh, you're not off the CD Projekt Red again, are you? Dante!